Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, True Crime with Jess Rose. Just want to start off by saying thank you so much for my new subscribers this week. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for my comments this week as well. Really appreciate them all. Obviously, do try to reply to them all. And this week, I'd like to look at a story again from a show that I've looked at a few times, Britain's Darkest Taboos, and it's a bit my sister murdered by our stepfather. Yep, that's what I said. My sister murdered by our stepfather. Now it's about a young girl, Leanne Meecham. Actually, no, her name originally was Leanne Bush, I believe. Now Leanne's got a sister called Carly who's 2 years older than her, and they're both from Brentwood in Essex, live with their mum and dad, and Leanne's got a best friend on the show called Alex, and her sister is on the show, Carly, and her and Alex are, brought up together, best friends. Alex lived in the flat above her, and obviously Carly as well. There's home videos of them playing and cutest little girls. But when Leanne was 6 and Carly was 8, their parents broke up. It was very sad. Now Carly went to live with her dad, but Leanne stayed with her mum. And they still seen each other every day. They still remained so close, these sisters did. And like I say, Alex, their friend, lived upstairs. And, so the relationship didn't change, drastically. Until Leanne and Carly's mum met a man by the name of Simon Meecham. Now, this was when Leanne was 9. So remember that age. She's 9 years old. Simon meets her mum, and within 6 weeks, the mum marries him. And Carly on the show says the mum she didn't want to be on her own. She was that. She didn't say desperate, but she just wanted someone there. Now, Simon himself, you do see pictures of him. Carly describes him as a tall, lanky grease monkey. But Leanne, on the other hand, she really likes him as her stepdad. And she sees... See, Simon's a bit of a hard man around the area. He's always getting into fights. He's known by the police. He's a criminal. And to Leanne, for some reason, that was appealing to her. She was quite proud of this stepdad, that she got to the point where she changed her name when the mum married. The mum's name's not mentioned, so that's why I say the mum. When the mum marries Simon, Leanne changes her name to Meecham, which is what I said at the beginning, Leanne Meecham. And this is from, like I say, I'll repeat it again, the age of 9. Okay? And she idolises him. He's the only kind of permanent male figure. I don't know how Leanne and her biological dad's relationship. Like I say, Carly lives with her dad, so they don't go into that too much, so I can't really elaborate on that. So Simon is her male role model, and she really looks up to him. She loves him, and he becomes her dad to all intents and purposes. But Leanne starts to grow up, and Carly, her sister, and especially Alex, her best friend, start to notice that Simon's looking at Leanne a little bit weird when she gets to about 16. Now, at this point, he's been in her life for 7 years. All intents and purposes, he's her dad. But he starts to become a little bit obsessed with Leanne. It's all very odd. And Alex says that when they used to go away, her and Leanne, he'd pick them up after a night out. Young girls, going out, getting all dressed up, going out, going to a few clubs and stuff. And when he'd pick them up, Alex was always, he wouldn't scold Leanne in any way, or, you know, tell her off for maybe being a bit too drunk like a dad would. She said it came across like he was trying to be one of them, and he was very much like, oh, Leanne, you're so silly, what are you like? And just very odd behaviour. And it was like everyone could see this behaviour except Leanne. She seen it as he was being protective of her, and, you know, like I say, she really looked up to him. And although she looked up to him, Carly, as he's still being close with her sister, believed that she's kind of seen him the way she did. Now, Carly didn't have a lot of time for Simon at all. And they used to make up little names for him, you know, when he wasn't around. And, you know, well, Carly didn't realise that Leanne, she really did look up to this guy. And maybe Leanne joined in with the name calling just to be close to her sister. I don't know. Very confused about that. But Carly actually uses the word, she says, Simon wanted to be Leanne's dad at first. Then Leanne grew up. And it turned really weird. Really, really weird. And when Leanne starts getting boyfriends, you know, she's at that age, she's 17, 18 now. And one thing I should say about Leanne, she's a beautiful looking girl. She really is. You see pictures of her. And, you know, Alex and Carly both say she's a very sweet girl. She's quite naive. But not a bad bone in her body. She's a very kind girl. And you do see pictures of her. She's a stunning looking girl. And he just, like Carly said, she grew up and he starts to see she's a stunning looking girl. And looking at her like a father figure should never look at a child he's brought up. You know, she was 9 years old. She was a child. So it's all very, very odd. And like I say, he starts to get a bit angry when she's got boyfriends, and they said that when she'd be seeing somebody, he'd make up excuses for her to get grounded and stuff. But then when she wasn't in a relationship, he was really nice to her again, and it was all back on track. Very, very weird behaviour that Leanne just didn't see. She didn't get it, and everyone else around did. Again, the mum's not mentioned. Now, Leanne moves out when she's 20. And this is around the same time that their mum, Carly and Leanne's mum, and Simon break up. And this is when it all gets a bit odd and a bit weird. Simon and their mum break up. And Leanne, who'd been in a relationship, she is 20, she's moved out, she's got her own place. You know, she's doing quite well for herself. Her relationship breaks up as well. And it's said by Emma Kenny on the show that Leanne's quite fragile at this point. You know, this relationship's broken down. You know, as far as she can see, her mum's relationship's broken down. And, you know, she was vulnerable. And this is when he makes his move. This in 2007. Simon makes his move. Yeah, I said it. Her stepdad, who's brought her up, makes his move. And more to the point, because she's so fragile, she sees him as a father. She sees him as a protector. She trusts him. And now she sees him as a lover. Oh, it's that. Carly said she said it made her feel physically sick. Alex, her friend, was like, Leanne, this isn't right. It's not right. But she wouldn't listen to anybody. I think she was blinded by the whole thing. Emma Kenny said she would have, she'd have confused things. She was all muddled in her brain, you know, and he got her. He got her. And the mum, like I say, is not mentioned in any of this, so I presume she would have fell out with that. I can't elaborate on it because I genuinely don't know what happened there. It's just not mentioned. But Simon, once he gets his claws into Leanne now, he's got her now. He moves her away. Now, when Carly and Leanne were little, they live in Brentwood, Essex. but they used to go to Southend-on-Sea, and they had some really lovely memories of being on the beach together and everything else. Well, this is where he moves Leanne, and it's a little bit of a distance away from her family. He convinces her to quit a job, saying that, you know, I'm ever so sorry, I have got a bit of a cold, so if I'm talking a little bit nasally, I do apologise. But yeah, he gets her to quit a job because he says, I'll provide for you, you don't need to do anything. So now she's found herself away from her family. She's got no job, so she's got no money of her own. She's depending on this man 100%. And don't forget, it's not a new relationship, as in she's just met him. She's known him practically all her life, so she trusts him. She trusts that he'll provide for her. She trusts that he'll look after her. But he's very, very, very early on into this relationship. Now, I don't know, like I say, if this was going on with the mum, but it's not just the controlling side of it. It gets physical. And he starts beating Leanne. His daughter. It's just, I mean, did he hit her when she was classed as his daughter? I don't know, but yeah, he starts beating her, and the police are called a lot to this property. And given the history that the police are aware of, she's put down as a high risk case. You know, he's known to the police because he's always been like he wants to see himself as a bit of a gangster, but the guy on the show was like, he wasn't a gangster. He was a criminal. He was a criminal, but he was no gangster. And yeah, it's just, Alex goes to visit her, and she said there was nothing in the house. You know, there was no food. There was no. She had nothing. He'd left her. Like, he didn't give her anything. Like, every penny she wanted, she had to beg. It was a full 100% control of this girl. And when Alex visits, you know, she just goes down there. Simon and Leanne have a massive row in the bedroom, and she says she hears Leanne screaming for Alex to help her. And as she goes to the bedroom, Leanne comes running out and locks herself in the bathroom, still screaming for help. And she said that Simon just looks at her. This is Alex, her friend. He just looks at her with a very blank look, just saying, you better stay out of it. She says she was actually scared. And don't forget, this Alex has known him. That her and Leanne are the same age. So this Alex has known him since she was 9 as well. And she did have a bit of a fear of Simon. So they all knew kind of what was going on by now, but they couldn't convince Leanne to get away. She was 100% under his control, and we've seen a lot of these cases. I've done a lot of these stories where they just don't see a way out anymore, especially when they're separated from the family. They haven't got that support network anymore. You know, he wants her 100% to himself. It is quite scary. Leanne, so Carly says, eventually starts to realise she's made a really big mistake here, and she doesn't know what to do. But the inevitable happens, and she gets pregnant. So he would be the baby's step-granddad and dad. It's all very ick, that's the words I'm looking at. It's just now, what Carly says is, because Leanne had her child, again, not a lot mentioned about the baby, so obviously that's kept out of the way as well, and I won't mention anymore. She got stronger, Leanne did. She got stronger, and she just knew she didn't want this upbringing for her child. She wanted out. She'd had enough. And she had dreams. She wanted a career. She wanted to be a drugs counsellor. And Simon starts panicking now. He feels like she's drifting away from him. He's losing control. And as I've said in other stories I've done, when it comes to, they say it's not being in the relationship that's the most dangerous. It's when you try and get away that is the real danger point in these controlling and violent relationships. And in January 2011, she gets away, she goes to a hostel. But she goes back and he promises her, I'll get help for the drugs, I'll get help for the alcohol. He's 16 years older than Leanne, and he can be very manipulative and conniving, and he convinces her to come back. And they say it happens a lot. She leaves, she comes back, she leaves, she always comes back. Because don't forget, she's been under this man's control for a very, very long time. Not even just in the relationship, but as a father figure. I think she still wants to trust him. She wants to believe that they can have a life together, and she keeps going back. Now, on January the 11th, 2014, Leanne calls Carly, and she's so frightened. They've had another row, and she's fearing for her life, and Carly's like, come back home. So Leanne packs a bag. She does pack her bags up, and she goes to stay with Carly, but she only stays for a couple of days. And while she's away, Simon's been charged with assault on Leanne. But he's released on bail. And while Leanne's with Carly, she says, I want to go back, but not to him, but she's made a life for herself now. A few years have gone by, and she's made a life for herself in Southend-on-Sea. Don't forget, they've been together nearly 7 years now. He got her in 2007. It's 2014 now, so it's a long time. But I think with the child and everything else, she's like, no, I'm going to go back to Southend-on-Sea, but because my life's there, not because of him. And Carly begs her, please don't go, please don't go back. And Leanne was strong. It's like she'd started to grow up, and she was like, no, this is my life. He's not going to see me out of, she's been living there a while now. She goes, no, I'm going back. My life's there. And she goes back to the same house, but what she does, she gets all the locks changed. I think she thinks because that's it she's done, I think in her mind, he should be done too. And it's scary because she's known him such a long time. Did she, bless her, she thought he'd give up. And obviously this was, for a bloke this obsessive and this controlling, this was just sending him over the edge, and because she's determined to improve her life and be on her own with a child, and she comes back with a whole new perspective on life. It starts to blow his brain a little bit, and he starts stalking her. She says she phones Carly, and she's like, he's sat outside the house, he's following her to the shops, he's been really weird. Not that he couldn't be any weird, it's hard for him to get any weirder, but to try and keep the peace, which it shows she's such a sweet girl. She wants her child to have a relationship with their father. She wants that. And Alex, her friend, does say it's partly because she wants them to have a relationship, but which I find really odd. But partly she actually says she doesn't want to piss him off. So she's trying to have a balance here. But what happens as well is Leanne starts seeing somebody, which to me seems very soon in this situation. You should be able to do what you want. Once you finish with a partner, if you want to move on, you can. But, my God, that must have blew his brain completely. He didn't like it when he was her stepdad and she was seeing people. Now she's seen someone, and as far as he's concerned, she's his and she's got his child. So, obviously, this has blown his brain completely. So, on the 12th of February 2014, he starts ringing Leanne. Ringing, ringing the phone off the hook. She's obviously in touch with Carly. She's letting her know. She's like, he's driving her crazy. He won't let up on it. And at 9 o'clock on February 13th, 2014, he goes round to the house. And like I say, Leanne's changed the locks. But he goes round and barges in. And Carly, back in Brentwood, here's something through a family member saying, you know, something's happened, something's wrong. But it's all very confusing. She's hearing this and she's like, what's going on? And at that point, she gets a call from Leanne's phone, which she finds really odd because someone just told her Leanne's been hurt. Now, there's a call from Leanne's phone, and when she picks it up, it's not Leanne. It's it's someone else saying that you need to get here now. Simon stabbed Leanne twice in her windpipe, and she's in a bad way. And then, so they all get to the hospital. The whole family's there. You know, they're at her bedside. She's in a really bad way. Like I say, she's been stabbed twice in a windpipe. It's said that when he barged in, he was already equipped with a kitchen knife. She was still in a dressing gown. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. She was still in a dressing gown. And it said that there was blood everywhere where she was trying to get to the door to get her in. It sounds absolutely horrific. He does that and does a runner. She's brought into the hospital and they put her into like an induced coma to try and give her body time to heal. And the police start to look for Simon and they find him in his Land Rover, slumped down. He stabbed himself. But what the real... this is a real kicker in this story. When I always say there's parts in these stories that just make your stomach drop a little bit. They take him to the same hospital that Leanne's in. He's on a lower floor and she's... And the family, as you can imagine, are absolutely furious. They're not just furious, they're scared. They're like, because they know he's not fatally injured. So they're like, what if he gets up to her and wants to finish the job? So the police, like I say, Leanne was a high risk case anyway. And she's got a police outside her room 24 hours. And police are put outside his room, hospital room, for 24 hours. You know, but you can imagine how angry that would make you to know he's in the same building. The bloke who's tried to kill your sister is in the same building with superficial wounds, you know. Whether he meant to kill himself, possibly not. They never do they? It was like the story of my husband murdered my children when she got away. And, his superficial wounds, it's like they managed to do that but can't quite do it to themselves, can they? No, Carly's, you see on the show, she's devastated, she's heartbroken, and she feels so guilty that she couldn't convince Leanne to stay with her, when she came to visit. And, there's a lot of mixed emotions in her. She has a look at the injuries. She said she had to for herself, and she said they were just horrific. Now, Carly's down as Leanne's next of kin, which again comes to mind. Where's the mum? Don't know. I can't comment on it because I don't know. She might have been there. I don't know. But as Leanne's next of kin, the hospital came to Carly and said, look, there's no more we can do for her. We can't. We've done everything we can. She's not responding. If you love your sister, you're going to have to let her go. And I just can't, in these cases, you can't imagine how that would feel. And they were there when they turned the machines off, and Alex, obviously her best friend, was as well. And she said they were warned that when the machine goes off, you would hear Leanne kind of fighting to breathe. And she said that was just heartbreaking. I can't get it across. I can't even describe how that would feel. It'd just be utter devastation. Simon comes round, as you would imagine, because it would have been just superficial. They don't actually mean to kill them, so it's just sickening. But he's charged with murder. And while he's in prison waiting for the trial, Leanne's buried, and they say it was a beautiful service. She had so many people come out. She was such a lovely girl. She was so well liked. It was just, as he said, it was just the best way she could give to send her off. It showed the grave on the program. It shows the graveside. It shows, it's in like a beautiful woodland. They really did try to do the best for her. Now, after this, like I say, Simon was charged with murder, but he denies it. Oh yeah, has the audacity to deny it. And do you know what he said? Are you ready? He said it was an accident. He said that she fell twice on a windpipe on the knife. That was his defence. I mean, come on. And then when they look at all the history and everything else, and you work out they were together 7 years. Now, when I first watched this story, because, I do look at them a few times to make sure I've got all my facts straight. As I was watching it, I didn't clock just how long they were together. 7 years. So you've got 7 years in a relationship, plus 11 years of being her dad. It's just 18 years. He was in her life, and that's how he chose to end it. It's just, disgusting weasel of a man. Obviously, he's found guilty. What else would there be? He's given life, but as we know here, it's not the mandatory life sentence that you get in America, where it's life. You're never coming out, no parole. He was given a minimum term of 22 years, which, for the British stories I do, it's a longer term than, some of the stories I've done, but it's still 22 years, It just, you just shouldn't be released. That's why I was going on about the American justice system. It's like, why has he got the chance to actually get back out? Why will he have that chance? But Kylie made a comment, and that kind of stuck with me. She says, I hope my sister haunts him every single night in his cell. And I just found that really kind of, not eerie, but yeah, I do. I hope he never gets her out of his head. Look, she was his daughter, and he's done that, and then he's got a granddaughter / daughter. It's just so messy. It's such a messy story that I've done that I didn't know how to put it across, because there's so many and it's like, he preyed on her. He preyed on someone who trusted him like you would trust your father. He was the main father figure in her life. Like I say, their dad and mum are not mentioned a lot. I know I've said it a few times now, and it is a bit baffling to me, but I do say, if you do find out, and it's not like, oh well, the mum says, it's because I do these stories. If I say I've done them from a particular show, I tell you what the show has put across. I wouldn't like to say, oh yeah, and the mum said this, the mum, and then you go, maybe of your own accord, go and watch the show, and you're like, well, hang on a minute, that didn't happen. So I've done it specifically from the show. But yeah, the mum and dad, very confusing to me. But her best friend Alex and Carly on the show, it is really upsetting to watch them. You could see how close they were, and it does go back to the home video. It shows the home videos again, and they were such sweet little girls, and it's just such a shame that this man entered their lives. He destroyed the ripple effect, right from their mum to sister to a best friend, to the ripple effect that this man gave. It would have been bad if he'd have just broke up with the mum. I don't think that was great, but then to go on and do that, it's just utter disgrace of a man, little weaselly little man. If you want to have a look, she was beautiful. She was a very, very attractive girl, and from what comes across in the story, very sweet and kind, and you know she must have been very vulnerable to have fell for anything like that. It's a real shame, it really is. And yeah, thank you for joining me. That was the story of my sister murdered by our stepfather. It's just, what do you say? It's just these stories they just get just what you don't come across in your daily life, and it's like this goes on. It's crazy. But thank you again so much for joining me. If you've got any comments or you'd like to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And I do keep forgetting to say, could you put a like as well? I do keep forgetting to say that. That'd be nice too. Or if you don't agree, dislike, let me know. Just like I said before, no mean comments like skank or telling me about my teeth. Just nice constructive comments would be very much appreciated. So thank you so much again for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.